guys, it's Annemarie. Welcome back to my channel. So for some reason, I have been getting bombarded with college acceptance / admission reaction videos for all of those seniors who have been getting their acceptance letters or denial letters. And I've seen so many recommended videos on my page for some reason on these like college admission reactions. So that's kind of what inspired me to do this video. I also did a senior year advice video when I was in high school, and it kind of covered all the things that you should probably do when you're a senior in high school / junior in high school to prepare for the college admission process. And I watched that, and it was actually like a pretty thorough video. I'm pretty proud of that. I think it has like over 100,000 views. I even had like a few comments, or one comment that said that their like college admissions counselor played it in class. So that just makes me so happy. That very much warms my heart. So in that video I told you guys like where I applied to and like where I decided to go, but then after that I like never talked about it again. And I still get questions all the time on like where I'm going and why I chose USC over the other schools and how I liked my decision, or like knowing what I know now, would I still choose USC? So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm really excited because I think a lot of you guys will like this video based on the questions that I get all the time. So we're just going to get started. First of all, for some reason, I like started watching before I filmed this video those college admission reaction videos, and that inspired me to make a note to say that I will not share any of my like stats, meaning my GPA, my ACT score, my extracurriculars. I watched this one girl, in my eyes, she was very much a qualified like candidate for a lot of the schools that even I applied for, and she didn't get into the schools that I applied for and I did. So that just goes to show you like you never know what college admissions counselors are looking for. So I'm not gonna like share my stats just because I don't think that's a very productive thing to do, and honestly like it's not worth it to stress over that. So actually, I don't even need to say that because this is for like acceptances and everyone just got their acceptances. So whatever, but I'm not going to share my stats with you guys because I just do not think that's a productive thing to do. So all the schools that I applied to were USC, UCLA, UC Berkeley, Emory, University of Pennsylvania, Vanderbilt, and Dartmouth. You guys can probably guess where I got in, but the schools that I was accepted to were USC, UC Berkeley, UCLA, so all of the California schools, and then I was also accepted into Emory, and then I was not accepted until UPenn, Vanderbilt, and Dartmouth. I think that I would have gone to Vanderbilt if I had gotten in, and UPenn, because UPenn's obviously just an Ivy. It has a really good business school. And I would have gone to Vanderbilt because I just really liked the atmosphere that it had when I visited. The only other school that I was really considering after I got like that acceptance list out of the UC schools, USC and Emory, was Emory, because my two siblings were going there at the time and they'd be there the whole time that I was there pretty much. And then I always get the question on why I chose USC over the UC schools, so UCLA and UC Berkeley, because I remember even all of my family members were like, oh my gosh, you have to go to UCLA. But UCLA, I think, is a much better known school for like everyone else outside of like the West Coast, but even for Alaska, like I'd never heard of USC, and that's super embarrassing to say now because like obviously it's a huge part of my life because I go here. But I had honestly never really heard much about it. The only thing that a lot of my friends knew about it was that they had a really good football team and that it was in California. Like, I didn't even apply to USC. I didn't think about applying to it. My mom actually told me to apply to it, and I was like, okay. That's pretty much the extent that I knew about USC until I visited the campus and really ended up liking the campus. And then I visited UCLA's campus. It was really huge. I felt really kind of insignificant there, and it was very overwhelming. I think they had like a pep rally or like some type of student-led protest, but it was just very overwhelming for me. So that's like kind of why I didn't choose UCLA over USC. Some other reasons why I personally chose USC over all the other schools, so like mostly just the schools in California, was that USC is a private school versus UCLA, which is a public school. For me, it'd be pretty much paying the same amount of money for a public school versus a private school. I don't know how true this is, but I mean, I know people who go to UCLA and they've said that this is pretty true. You don't really call freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors like by that name. You call first years, second years, third years, fourth years, fifth years, because it's very common to graduate within 5 years versus 4, which is definitely something I did not want to do, especially paying out-of-state tuition. Also, they don't have a business school, and I was pursuing a business degree. So that was clearly a huge factor as well. I chose USC over Emory and Berkeley because I really wanted to be in LA. So when I was applying to colleges, I think I was a part of Style Hall, which is like MCN, which is like a lot of YouTubers are a part of that. That's a network. My network was in LA, and I had actually gotten like a lot of YouTube related jobs. I don't even think I vlogged about this, but I had an audition with Walmart, or no, not an audition. I did an advertisement with Walmart.com, so they flew me down, and then I like filmed this advertisement for them. It was horrible. I was absolutely terrible at acting. But that was something that was really cool. I just felt like there was like a lot of opportunity in LA. And it was also somewhere that I knew that I would regret or always wonder about, have that big what if in my head if I didn't end up going to LA. But I didn't want to just move to LA for YouTube because that's not something that I was like considering pursuing full time. But since I did get accepted to 2 schools that were in LA, I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to go here, especially since those schools were really good. And I also just wanted to like experience the city of LA. So that was a huge reason why I did end up choosing USC, or I did consider UCLA as well. But a lot of that was because it was in LA. Something else that definitely drew me to LA was that it was on the West Coast, which is where I've spent like pretty much all of my life. Alaska, Washington, so like staying on the West Coast is pretty important to me. It sucks to have to travel a really long distance just to go home. My dad just called me and I don't remember what I was saying, so. Knowing what I know now, would I still choose USC? I get this question all the time. USC is a great school, and I think it's just gonna get better. Like, I'm looking right now at the University Village, which is a $1 billion project. USC is growing. It's getting more selective every year. It's definitely a competitive school, and I don't even know if I'd be able to get in right now if I applied as a senior in high school with my stats that I had. There are definitely some flaws with it, though, that I have noticed. So I'm gonna go over like kind of just the bad things that I've noticed within USC and like why it might not be a good fit for you if you're watching this video and considering it, and also some pros. So I am personally a very introverted person. This is something that I've realized in college. Like, I am pretty much the definition of an introvert. With being an introvert, I have noticed that USC is definitely a very extroverted school. Greek life is super loud and super present on campus. And in general, I would say that the students here are very like, they have extroverted qualities. And that's definitely not to say that like everyone's an extrovert or whatever. But I feel like if you're applying to USC, you know, it's like in California. It's like a really big Greek life school, kind of a party school. So like you kind of just sign up for like going to like an extroverted school. I'm also in the business school, so maybe that's why like I just see it more. So for me, like just being an introvert, I've especially noticed that I like kind of stand out as an introvert. People love to go out here and like party. And I honestly can say that like I stand out for not wanting to go out that often. Like in classrooms, extroverts like tend to have very different characteristics. Like as students, like they're very outspoken. They like group settings and like speaking out loud. And I really don't mind that. Like I'm able to do that, but it does take more energy for me. So even in like classroom settings, I just noticed that I'm very much an introvert. So that does kind of impact your social situation. Initially, when I first came here and I noticed that like everyone had huge groups of friends and always went out and like always went to parties and like, you know, knew everyone on campus and always said hi to people, I felt really insecure about my like social standing, or like not really my social standing because I've never really cared about that, but I felt insecure about my like social abilities, because like if everyone's extroverted, everyone has kind of a norm, and then if you're an introvert like me, then it's like you're different from everyone else, and that obviously like any differences that people have tend to like just make you think that, you know, like it makes you a little bit insecure. So it could be a good or a bad thing depending on like who you are, but definitely something that I've noticed. And then with that, I think is another really interesting like social aspect of USC is that like, okay, so I wrote it down like this because I was trying to think of how to explain it. But you know, like the girls that you see on Instagram that are like Instagram goals, and you like follow them just because you like their outfits, they look really cute, they're really fit, they like wear really nice clothes. Pretty much every single girl that you've seen on Instagram that's like Instagram goals from like LA, you could like easily stick them at USC. Like, people are so well dressed here, so trendy. Like, that's super important to some people, but people really, really care about their social standing and outward appearance here, like, extremely. And this is not everywhere at USC. Like, you can find your place in, like, your pocket of people everywhere, but, like, I've seen so many really fake, very social climby, not really genuine, down-to-earth girls. And so for me, it's been kind of hard to, like, make girlfriends that are just, like, normal girls who are, like, are down to earth and, like, don't really care. Like, their life doesn't revolve around, like, how they look outwardly and how they're seen socially. So that's something that I've definitely noticed. And obviously that comes with just, like, choosing to go to a school that's in LA. Like, this school is very LA. It's very trendy. It's just, like, kind of amazing how much social standing really matters to people here. But I guess it's probably, like, everywhere. I don't know. Maybe that's an extroverted thing. I don't know. Some positives are that I absolutely love LA. I love food, and I can literally go, like, any direction in LA and, like, find amazing food, which is really important to me. And there's always stuff to do. And I spend a lot of time off campus, like, exploring LA, or, like, at least exploring different food scenes. So that has been something that's extremely important to me, and I have absolutely loved that with USC, and, like, attending USC, I'm able to do that. Where I've heard other schools, like, even Emory, my sister goes there, and she said that, like, they have an Emory bubble where people don't really find themselves going off of campus a lot. And also something that you can find at other schools as well, but USC, I feel, has given me really, really cool opportunities. If you follow my vlog channel, I'm getting so many text messages, okay. If you follow my vlog channel, you'll probably know that I was a part of, like, GLP here at USC, which basically was a freshman seminar class where we were, like, invited to this class, and then we got to go to China and Shanghai and Beijing for spring break, and then I was able to intern in Shanghai through that class because I applied. So that was just a really cool opportunity, and then I was a TA for that class. I was gonna go to Shanghai and Beijing with, like, the freshmen this year, but I ended up doing my co-op instead, and it just really was hard to kind of make that work out. And also, you know, the connections that you're able to get with, like, the Trojan family, but it's kind of true. That's not necessarily unique to USC, but USC, like, is able to provide, like, those connections and opportunities that other schools might not. But again, like, I don't go to other schools, so I don't know, like, what kind of connections that they have. And also just with USC being in LA, I have access to all the companies pretty much that are in LA, like all the entertainment companies. If I wanted to go there, this is a really good school for that. So that's something that I think I didn't really think about when I was applying to schools, but that I've learned from attending USC. That's, like, kind of a lot of information. I'm not really sure what I've said in the past 10 minutes or whatever, 20 minutes. Those are all things to think about when you're making your final decisions for college. I hope this video was helpful. I've gotten a lot of questions about USC and, like, why I chose it. So I definitely am glad that I made this video for those of you who have been asking. And I actually had fun making this video. I got to reflect on, like, why I chose to go here, like, 3 years ago, and if I made the right decision. And I think I can say that I have. But definitely I know that I would be happy, or I would have been happy at some of the other schools that I got accepted to. So that's just, like, important to think about as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos from me. As always, my social medias are linked down below, as well as a bunch of other cool stuff. So check out the description, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!